small, but I feel so tall in Toy Town. I take my car and I drive afar in Toy Town. There's Mr. Plod and a dog called Bumpy. Hello, Mr. Plod. Get down, Bumpy. I pass the Ark, the Noahs live there, and so does the elephant, and so does the bear. Noddy, they say it's market day in Toy Town. If you have the fare, I'll take you there through Toy Town. There's Biggers who lives by the old oak tree, and we have adventures, Biggers and me. Why don't you come and join in the fun? Just follow me, 'cause it's only begun. I'm Noddy. I'm Noddy.
Big Ears, the brownie, was looking forward to his day in Toy Town. I'll go to the market, and I'll have an ice cream, and I'll... Why don't you look where you're going? Big Ears asked crossly. I'm terribly sorry. Big Ears looked a bit closer. You're an odd-looking person, he said rudely. Who are you? I don't know. Don't know? No, said the odd-looking person, nodding his head vigorously. When you say no, do you mean yes? No. And he nodded his head harder than ever. If you can't say what you mean, don't say anything at all. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I want to know who you are. Why the secrecy? I ran away from my toy maker. Why? He made a lion. I don't like lions. They frighten me. So where are you going now? I don't know. I'd like to find some food. I'm rather hungry and thirsty. In that case, Big Ears said, you'd better climb on my bicycle. I'm going to Toy Town. We can get you plenty of food and drink there. By the way, what's your name? I haven't got one. You'll have to shout. I can't hear. I haven't got one. I'll give you a name, Big Ears said. I'll call you Noddy, because you will keep nodding your head. Whatever's that? Noddy was again so frightened he nearly fell over. As a train, of course. Have you never seen a train before? No. My goodness, you are ignorant. All aboard for Toy Town. All aboard for Toy Town. Come on, Big Ears said, and pushed Noddy into a carriage. Noddy catapulted in, followed by Big Ears and his bicycle. You can't bring that in here, said a snooty voice. It was a pink toy cat. There isn't time to put it in the guard's van. It's not allowed, a toy soldier added. What a peculiar person. The pink cat was examining Noddy closely. Who is he? He's called Noddy. Where do you come from? The pink cat asked rudely. Ouch! It was one of the dolls. Mind that bicycle. You've got it on my foot. Oh, I'm sorry, Big Ears said. The whistle blew again. Noddy nearly fell off his seat in surprise and started nodding even more. What's he keep nodding for? We can't help it. Oi, 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 what's going on here then? No bicycles allowed in carriages. And you know that, Big Ears. Well, I'm sorry, Big Ears said, but I didn't have time to put it in the guard's van. You've got time now. Take it out of here. So Big Ears took the bicycle out of the carriage, and Noddy was left alone with the pink toy cat and the doll and the soldier. I'm going to be late, the toy cat said snootily. I don't know why we should put up with these delays. Neither do I, sniffed the doll. Toy Town train isn't what it used to be. All kinds of undesirable persons one has to travel with. Fortunately, Big Ears came back at that moment. We're off, said Noddy in delight. But I can't see the view from here. Could I change? I always sit in the corner seat, the pink toy cat said. So you'll have to sit where you are, unless the toy soldier moves. You'd better come here. Help! Help! What's all this then? Oh, it's you lot again. You toys. Nothing but trouble. Opening doors while the train's in motion. You know it's not allowed. I didn't open the door, the toy soldier said furiously. It flew open. Then it wasn't shut properly. Who was last in? He looked pointedly at Big Ears. I'm sorry. It was all my fault. Noddy spoke up bravely. The toy soldier moved to give me the corner seat. I wanted to see outside because I've never been in a train before. Never been in a train before? The guard looked incredulous. Hurry up. What's going on?
We're late. This train was supposed to leave 2 minutes ago.
Either we go or I'll have my money back. That's enough of that, the guard shouted back. The train will go when I say it goes, and if you don't like it, you can walk. And he turned to Noddy. Have a good journey, he said kindly. And I hope you like Toy Town. And he blew his whistle. Noddy had never seen anywhere so beautiful.
What a lovely place.
What's the matter, Noddy?
It's that I'm so hungry.
We'll soon deal with that. Come on, there's a cafe over there. Big Ears bought Noddy a steak pie and potatoes and peas and a glass of orangeade.
This is the best meal I've ever had.
Noddy had never felt so happy, but not for long. A big toy policeman came up to him. Hello, 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 and who may you be?
I'm Noddy.
I didn't ask you your name, I asked who you were. You're very rude, Big Ear said. You might at least tell him who you are. He's never seen a policeman before. PC Plod of Toy Town Constabulary at your service. Noddy couldn't help giggling. Mr. Plod looked so funny. It's no laughing matter. Mr. Plod took out his pencil and notebook. I want to know if you're a toy. Only toys are allowed in Toy Town.
I think I'm a toy,
Noddy said.
At least, I hope I am.
Well, this is a matter for Toy Town Court. Kindly appear at the court at 6 p.m. tonight.
He's not going to send me away, is he?
I hope not.
Big Ears didn't know what to do to keep Noddy in Toy Town, but he showed him round. He showed him the station, and the market, and the fair. He took him to Monsieur Polly's garage to look at all the new cars. And he took him to the Ark.
What a funny place,
Noddy said.
Whatever is it?
You are ignorant. It's where all the animals live with Mr. and Mrs. Noah.
Elephants and giraffes and kangaroos?
Of course. But Big Ears forgot to tell Noddy about the lions.
Do you think I could stay here to see them? I love animals.
Good idea, Big Ears said. Go and introduce yourself to Mr. and Mrs. Noah. I'll be back soon. And Big Ears walked away. There was no reply from the Ark, but Noddy could hear noises, so he knew there must be someone inside.
Is, anyone at home?
There certainly was. Hundreds of animals, and they all came pouring out of the Ark. Mr. and Mrs. Noah were on their way home.
My goodness, Noah, I'm so glad...
Mrs. Noah stopped in surprise.
Go back in. Go back in at once,
she cried. To Noddy's amazement, all the animals put their tails between their legs and crept shamefacedly back into the Ark. At least, almost all the animals. Noddy didn't see the one that hid behind the bush.
I'd better go and find Big Ears,
he thought.
I seem to have caused a lot of trouble here.
Then he heard a growl, and then a scream. He didn't remember that he was frightened of lions. He rushed at it, waving his arms about. The lion scampered back into the Ark.
Thank you, thank you.
The little doll threw her arms round Noddy.
You've saved my life.
At that moment, Big Ears appeared. Time to come to Toy Town Court. Noddy didn't even have time to tell him about the lion.
Silence,
the judge shouted. Are you the accused?
Yes,
Who are you?
I'm Noddy.
Ah, yes, I believe you want to take up a residence in Toy Town.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a toy?
Yes.
Said Noddy. No, said Mr. Plod. Silence, said the judge. If you are a toy, are you a good toy?
Yes.
Said Noddy. No, said Mr. Plod. Silence, said the judge. Have you done anything wrong since you came to Toy Town?
I'm afraid I let the animals out of the ark.
6 soldiers forward. You are to leave Toy Town immediately. This toy is to be escorted out of the town. The court is now adjourned.
No, no, stop.
It was the little doll,
Don't send him away. He saved my life.
and she told them about Noddy and the lion.
Oh, that puts an entirely different light on the matter,
The judge said.
Noddy, I order you to stay in Toy Town.
All the toys cheered.
Silence! Mr. and Mrs. Noah, why did you leave the ark doors unlocked?
I'm afraid we forgot, Your Honor.
Forgetfulness is no excuse. I shall make you pay a fine. You are to help this nodding man find a house.
No need, no need. It was Mr. Tubby Bear. There is a residence empty next to us. Perhaps he could have that.
P.C. Plod, kindly investigate.
And with that, the judge adjourned the court. There it is. There it is. And there in front of Noddy was the most beautiful house he had ever seen.
All that? For me?
He couldn't believe it was true. Yes, yes, the toys all cried. It's a bit bare. Mrs. Noah was looking anxiously at the little room. You'll have to have some furniture. There's no bed or anything. Well, we'll go to the market and buy him some. After all, it was our fault that he was nearly sent away.
Carelessness, sheer carelessness,
Mr. Plod muttered to himself,
I'd better note down these proceedings.
and he took out his notebook and pencil. But no one was going to wait for Mr. Plod to write it all down. The toys led Noddy out of the house and towards the market square.
Oh, wait for me.
I've no money. No money at all.
Noddy said.
Well, make a collection.
Big Ear said. And before P.C. Plod knew what was happening, his helmet was whipped off his head and put on the ground, and all the toys threw pennies into it until it was so full they could hardly lift it.
Most irregular. Most irregular.
But he didn't mind too much. And then Big Ears rushed up to Noddy and put on his head a pointed blue hat with a bell at the end of it.
Now, every time you nod your head, a little bell will ring.
The toys cheered yet again.
This is the happiest day of my life.
Noddy said.
It's been a lovely day, now we have to go away. But we'll see you very soon in Toy Town. We'll be back another day, come and join us so we may see you very soon again in Toy Town. It's been a lovely day, now we have to go away. But we'll see you very soon in Toy Town. We'll be back another day, come and join us so we may see you very soon again in Toy Town. and I feel so tall in Toy Town. I take my car and I drive afar in Toy Town. There's Mr. Plod and a dog called Bumpy. Hello, Mr. Plod. Get down, Bumpy. I pass the Ark, the Noahs live there, and so does the elephant, and so does the bear. Noddy, they say it's market day in Toy Town. If you have the fare, I'll take you there through Toy Town. There's Biggs who lives by the old oak tree, and we have adventures, Biggs and me. Why don't you come and join in the fun? Just follow me, 'cause it's only begun. I'm Noddy. I'm Noddy.
Milk out, milk out, the milkman called. Goodness, Noddy said. Is it breakfast time already? We'll make an early start in Toy Town. 1 pint or 2. Noddy nodded. Say what you want, said the milkman. Nod once for 1 bottle and twice for 2 bottles. Take no notice of my nodding. My head just nods. And if it nods too often, you leave me too much milk. I only want 1 pint, please. That'll be 1 penny. 1 penny? Noddy looked very sad. Perhaps I'd better not have any milk today. I haven't got any money. That's all right, Noddy. Pay me later. And whistling cheerfully, the milkman went next door. I'd better get a job so I can pay you back, Noddy said. Why don't you try Angela Dole at 4 Chimneys House? There's spring cleaning this week. What a good idea, Noddy thought. He knocked on the door. It was answered by a doll in a big white apron. What do you want? She said. Are you the chimney sweep, or are you the laundryman? I'm Noddy, Noddy said. I heard you were spring cleaning, and I wondered if I could help. I'll be very good at spring cleaning. I've plenty of spring in me. It's nothing to do with it, silly. We're spring cleaning the house because it's springtime. Perhaps the mistress will let you help. We're always glad of an extra pair of hands. You can come in. The mistress was a beautiful doll with shining hair and big blue eyes. Noddy was so impressed, he bowed. The sweep hasn't come, she said. I suppose you don't know how to sweep chimneys? I'm sure I could sweep your chimneys, he said. I'd like to try. Noddy picked up a long black brush. He poked it up the chimney and waited for the soot to come down. I wonder if I'm through to the top, he thought. No soot. I'd better do it again. The little doll ran outside. Isn't this fun? She said. I wonder where Noddy's brush is. Oh, it's coming through a chimney. It's gone. Oh, there it is. In another chimney. Noddy is doing well. Oh, it's gone again. No, there it is. He's cleaning chimney number 3 now. Only 1 more to do. Oh, he's gone back to number 1 again. What is he doing? He should be doing number 4. There it is. He's cleaned it. Well done, Noddy. But Noddy was covered in soot from top to toe. You'd better have a wash, the mistress said. Then you can scrub the kitchen floor. Noddy set to. He scrubbed and scrubbed. Won't the beautiful doll be pleased, he thought. Perhaps she'll give me another job. Then I can pay the milkman and buy enough food to stock my larder. He turned to pick up the bucket. Oh, that's funny, he said. It was here a minute ago. Someone was laughing. Do you want your bucket back? Look out! He shouted, but he was too late. The little doll had spilt the bucket of dirty water all over Noddy's shoes. What's going on here? A stern voice said. It was the mistress doll. What do you think you're doing? The little doll girl looked at Noddy. It was an accident, but don't worry, I'll clean it up. It won't take very long, he said. That's a very good job you've done, said the mistress doll, and she paid him handsomely. Oh, thank you, said Noddy. If you want more work, try Monsieur Polly at the garage. Now, if there was one thing Noddy loved, it was cars. Excuse me, Noddy said shyly, do you by any chance have a job for me? Monsieur Polly looked him up and down. Well, my man, he is away. You can have his duties until he returns. I love cars, Noddy thought as he looked round. If only I could have one of my own. A yellow one, just like that. He set to work happily. He washed all the cars and polished them until he could see his own reflection in them. Monsieur Polly was very pleased, and at the end of the day gave him 2 pennies. I feel quite rich, Noddy thought, but not rich enough to buy my own car. I do wish I could buy this one. Noddy worked at the garage for a whole week. On his last day, he worked extra hard. Oh, I do feel hot, he said. He sadly packed up his duster and polish. This is the last time, he sighed. Hi! Oh, I'm sorry. I'd completely forgotten you, Noddy. I will now give you your last 2 pence. I must lock up now. Goodbye. Bonne nuit. Never mind, Noddy thought. I'll soon get another job, and who knows, one day I might save enough to buy a car of my own. And he fell asleep. Noddy woke up with a start. Oh dear, he said. I haven't had my supper. Who's that? It's me, without my hat. I must go and look for it. Noddy wasn't feeling very brave. It was dark and lonely. Ooh, he shivered. I don't like being alone in the dark. But he wasn't alone. A shaft of light came from the open garage door, and Noddy could hear noises coming from inside. Oh, Monsieur Polly must be working late. I do hope it's not my fault. Suddenly, a car shot out into the road. It was driven by a goblin, and another, and another. Why don't you look where you're going, jaywalker? Noddy ran to the back of the garage. There, in an old shed, was a rickety red car. He jumped in, pulled the starter, and roared out after the departing goblins. All through Toy Town they went, and out into the open country. Faster and faster they drove, up and down the country lanes. Noddy felt as though he were flying. Noddy landed by a tree, clutching his steering wheel. A solitary tire rolled past. Before Noddy had time to recover, he heard a stern but familiar voice.
What on earth do you think you're doing? It was Big Ears. I'm chasing, Noddy said, and told him all about it. Are you hurt? Big Ears asked anxiously. I don't think so, Noddy said, but I'm not sure. Come into my toadstool house. You can stay with me for the night. I do hope Monsieur Polly won't be cross about his little red car, Noddy said. It's quite smashed up. I should think he'd be very grateful to you. Look, Noddy, he added, you go to sleep, and I'll see if I can find the cars. So Noddy snuggled down on Big Ears' settee, and Big Ears went, all alone, to Goblin Village. The inhabitants of Toy Town were in a rage that morning. And as for poor Monsieur Polly, he was crying. All his cars had gone, even the little red one. But Mr. Plod was in charge of the situation. We will have to examine the place of the crime, he announced. Aha, he called. Aha. He held up Noddy's blue hat. A vital piece of evidence. It was at that moment that Noddy and Big Ears arrived at the garage. Does this piece of incriminating evidence belong to you? Oh, I don't know about incriminate, but it's my hat. It was Noddy, the little nodding man, the toys shouted. He did it. He stole the cars. You just listen to me, Mr. Plod, Big Ears said furiously. You just listen to me. And you show respect to an officer of the law. It wasn't Noddy who stole the cars. It was the goblins. Noddy went to the garage to fetch his hat, and he tried to stop them. Do you wish to make a written statement? We need a written statement, you know. Look here, Plod. I want Noddy set free. In fact, if you don't set him free this minute, I shan't tell you where the cars are. Perhaps we have been a little hasty, Monsieur Polly whispered to Mr. Plod. He wanted his cars back. This, Brownie, says you chased the car thieves last night. Noddy was too frightened to speak. That's correct, Big Ear said. What's more, if we don't hurry to Goblin Village, you may never see the cars again. It was a strange procession that arrived in Goblin Village. I'll deal with this, Big Ear said. It's my beat, Mr. Plod protested. It's my village. Big Ears strode forward. Come out here, Gobbo, he ordered. I have a visitor for you. You again? I might have known. I'll have those cars back fast, Gobbo pointed to the old oak tree. Better get 'em, I suppose, he grumbled. Quelle joie, Monsieur Polly murmured as the first car drove out. There were goblins everywhere. I shall fine every single goblin in this village, Mr. Plod announced. Every goblin is to pay 1 penny. I shall expect you to deliver the money this afternoon. And if you don't, you'll find yourselves in clink. Everyone got into their stolen cars and drove back to Toy Town. Monsieur Polly took Noddy to the garage. You had better keep your eyes shut, he said sternly. Why? Noddy asked, trying not to peep. We have a little surprise for you, and he led him into the market square. Can I open them now? Noddy asked. A little, Monsieur Polly said. Oh! Noddy's eyes nearly fell out of his head. A car for you. Hurrah for Noddy! All Toy Town was assembled in the square. For me? Really? For me? It was too good to be true. It was the most beautiful car Noddy had ever seen.
It's been a lovely day, now we have to go away. But we'll see you very soon in Toy Town. We'll be back another day, come and join us so we may see you very soon again in Toy Town. It's been a lovely day, now we have to go away. But we'll see you very soon in Toy Town. We'll be back another day, come and join us so we may see you very soon again in Toy Town. a car and I drive afar in Toy Town. There's Mr. Plod and a dog called Bumpy. Hello, Mr. Plod, get down, Bumpy. I pass the Ark, the Noahs live there, and so does the elephant, and so does the bear. Now that they say it's market day in Toy Town. If you have the fare, I'll take you there through Toy Town. There's Biggs who lives by the old oak tree, and we have adventures, Biggs and me. Why don't you come and join in the fun? Just follow me, 'cause it's only begun. I'm Noddy. I'm Noddy.
Noddy felt tremendously happy. He helped himself to an extra special breakfast. Toast and egg and cornflakes and milk. There wasn't any. Luckily, at that moment, the milkman came to the door. 1 pint or 2? He asked. I'd rather have 2, Noddy said. I'm going to eat an enormous breakfast. Oh, he added, and his face fell. What's wrong, Noddy? I can't have 2. In fact, I can't have any. I've run out of money. Not to worry. I can wait, Mr. Milkman said, and set off in the direction of Mr. and Mrs. Bear. I know how I can earn some money, Noddy thought as he cleaned and polished his car. I could take people to and from the station, and I could charge them, just like a taxi driver. Yeah, that's what I'll be. I'll be Toy Town's taxi driver. The pink toy cat was waiting in the road. Are you a taxi driver? Yes, that is almost, Noddy said in a rush. I've just become one. I want to go to Toy Town Station, please. How much do you charge? 5 pence all the way there and back, Noddy said excitedly. I only want to go there. I don't want to come back. How much is it to go there and not back? Oh, I don't know. Noddy didn't know what to charge. You don't know? No, Noddy said miserably, nodding his head. I wish you wouldn't say no and nod your head. It's very muddling. Mr. Tubby Bear looked out of his house. Mr. Tubby Bear, the toy cat said, can you tell Noddy how much to charge if he takes me to the station and not back? Well, exactly the same as if you go back and not to the station, Mr. Tubby Bear said. Well, how can I go back if I haven't been there? Noddy felt more muddled than ever. Come on, I'm going to miss my train. The pink toy cat climbed into the car with some difficulty. She was large and the car was small. And then she left her tail hanging out over the side. Put your tail inside, toy cat. Noddy was so startled, he slammed his foot on the brake. The car stopped with a jerk and the pink toy cat flew through the air and landed in the road. Oh, is that how you drive a car? She asked angrily. I'm sorry. Being a taxi driver wasn't going to be easy after all. Hey, toy cat, Mr. Bear shouted again. Put your tail inside. I do wish people would mind their own business, the toy cat said snootily. It's my tail, and I can do what I like with it. Sally Sly waved them past. Ooh, she said. Mind how you go. The train was just coming in as they arrived. Oh, the toy cat wailed. My tail's gone. Noddy stared at her in horror. The train driver blew his whistle. Quick, you miss it. He pushed her into the nearest carriage. I'll look for your tail, but please, will you pay me before you go? Certainly not, said the pink toy cat. You can pay me 5 pence for a new tail. 5 pence, that's what you owe me. 5 pence. What a rude cat. A deep voice boomed. Will you drive me to Mr. Tubby's? I'm his brother. Mr. Bear was even bigger than the pink toy cat. He had great difficulty getting into the car. You need a lorry, Noddy muttered. Hey, my hat's blown off. Stop, stop. You'll have to go and find it, said Mr. Tubby Bear's brother. I'm stuck. The hat was nowhere to be seen. Nowhere at all. Oh, I'm in trouble again, Noddy thought. The bear was very cross. Why you have such a silly small car? He growled at Noddy. Noddy was furious. My car is not silly and it's not small. It's you who's too fat. Please, sir, will you pay my fare? He asked. Pay a fare? Pay a fare when you've lost my brand new hat? Certainly not. You can pay me what it cost. 5 new pence. And Mr. Bear stalked off into Mr. and Mrs. Tubby Bear's house. Noddy was utterly downcast. His career as a taxi driver was distinctly unsuccessful. I'll have one more go, he thought. If I can get a rich client, I can earn enough for a new tail, a new hat, and a bit over for myself. His luck had turned, for there, by the bus stop, was Angela Goldenhair from Four Chimneys House. Noddy nodded at her happily and politely opened the door.
Where do you want to go, ma'am? To the station. Hurry up, please, Noddy. I'm late. Where can I put my bag?
Oh, I'll soon sort that out for you. But the bag was too large to fit in the front, so he balanced it carefully on the back. It'll be quite safe there. Better than in a luggage rack.
Hurry up now.
The doll said.
I don't want to miss my train.
So Noddy hurried up. He drove as fast as the car would go.
There we are, madam. I'll just get you your case, and
Oh, the case had gone.
How careless of you.
The doll said crossly.
You'll have to go back and find it and put it on the next train. And I'm not paying you your fare. That'll teach you to be so careless.
And she marched off. Noddy tried to cheer himself up as he drove to Big Ear's house. But there really wasn't very much to be cheerful about. Instead of earning money, he owed it. I'll tell you what we'll do, Big Ear said. We'll drive back to Toy Town. Someone must have found the pink toy cat's tail and Mr. Bear's hat and even Angela Goldenhair's case. So that's what they did. They drove into Toy Town, into the market square, and right into the middle of Toy Town Fair.
Goodness,
Noddy said.
I forgot about the fair. Now we won't find anything.
Yes, that might be a bit of a problem, Big Ear said. The fair was in full swing. First they went to the hoopla stall. Noddy looked at the prizes. 2 china cats, teapots, rag dolls, and a beautiful yellow sponge for cleaning the car. I wish I could have a go, he said sadly. I would so love that big yellow sponge for cleaning my car. There was a big notice up. 1 penny for 3 hoops. Come along, ladies and gentlemen, come along, come along. 1 penny for 3 hoops. Try your luck, try your luck. Here, sir, have a go. Go on, have a go, sir, have a go. Never know your luck. Might win that sponge you want. The skittle, who was running the stall, held 3 hoops out to Noddy. Noddy nodded miserably. I'm afraid I can't. Then why do you nod your head? You toys are all the same, wasting my time. I have to make a living, you know, I have to make a living. So do I, Noddy said miserably to himself. Only I don't seem to be very good at it. Come on. Big Ears took him by the arm, and they walked on. I've got 1 penny. Let's have a go on the roundabout. That'll cheer us up. Useless, these toys, the skittle said. And cheer them up, it did. Noddy jumped on the back of a white horse, and Big Ears clambered onto a grey elephant. The ride begins. Monsieur Polly was having a go. So was Tessie. Isn't this fun? She cried. The merry-go-round went round and round, round and round. Oh, I'm in a steeplechase, Noddy shouted. Come on, come on, come on! And he kicked the horse to go faster, just as though it was a real one. roundabout stopped, and Big Ears and Noddy climbed down. They were so dizzy that the market square and all the toys in it were going round and round. Suddenly, Noddy clutched Big Ear's arm. "Look!" he shouted. He had seen Gobbo emerging from the back of the hoopla stall, clutching a teapot, a box of chocolates, and the big yellow sponge. "Stop! Oh, no, you don't!" Noddy shouted, and before the goblin realized what was happening, he'd been pinned down by Big Ears and Noddy.
Has there been a disturbance of the peace?"
Mr. Plod was on the spot, notebook in hand.
There has, the goblin screamed. "I've just caught that nodding man and his friend stealing the hoopla prizes. Just stopping them I was."
You're lying.
Noddy was beside himself.
He's the thief. We caught him, Big Ears and I.
It was them,
the goblin screamed.
"How dare you?"
Big Ears said.
"Be quiet,"
Mr. Plod said.
"What are my prizes doing here?"
No one had noticed the arrival of the skittle.
"Oh, it's you, is it?"
He said, looking at Noddy.
"Thought you'd be up to no good, wanting my sponge when you hadn't even got the money enough to have a go with the hoops. I know your sort."
Told you, didn't I?
Said the goblin smugly to Mr. Plod.
"Well, I don't know,"
Mr. Plod said.
"Well, I do."
It was Noddy's friend, the milkman.
"How dare you accuse Noddy of stealing? That goblin is a liar. I saw the whole thing. It's the goblin who's the thief." "I'm scarpering. After him, after him, after him,"
Mr. Plod shouted, puffing and panting as he tried to chase the thieving goblin. The skittle was very apologetic and gave Big Ears and Noddy a free turn. Big Ears won a box of chocolates, and Noddy won the big yellow sponge. Noddy and Big Ears wandered round the fair. "I wish we had some money."
"Look at those ice creams. And look at that sailor doll. He's not wearing a sailor hat. He's wearing Mr. Bear's topper."
Before the sailor doll knew what had happened, Big Ears had whipped it off him.
"Stick to your own hats in future,"
he growled at the sailor doll, who was so frightened, he ran away.
Hey, where did you get that bag?
Noddy ran up to a white clockwork mouse.
It's Angela Goldenhair's.
The clockwork mouse fled as fast as his machinery would let it. Things were looking up. They walked on further to a stall where Sally Sly was buying oranges. Round her neck, she had a bushy pink fur.
"That,"
said Noddy,
"is the toy cat's pink tail."
"Leave this to me,"
Big Ear said.
"Next time you find something that doesn't belong to you, kindly take it to the Lost Property Office."
Sally Sly went very red in the face and walked away with as much dignity as she could muster.
"That's that, then," said Big Ears. "One hat, one tail, and one bag."
"We've got your tail," they shouted to the pink toy cat. "Well, that's a relief. I felt most peculiar without it." The cat paid Noddy his fare. Then they returned Mr. Bear's hat.
"It wasn't Noddy's fault,"
Big Ear said.
"Shouldn't have driven so fast. But I'll pay up this time."
Then they returned Angela's red bag. Noddy felt very happy and very rich. "Let's go out to supper, Big Ears, as a special treat. I've never been out to supper before."
"Yes, let's."
And that's what they did. They sat down in the market square and ate a huge supper. "Everything's going to be all right now," Noddy said.
It's been a lovely day, now we have to go away. But we'll see you very soon in Toy Town. We'll be back another day, come and join us so we may. See you very soon again in Toy Town. It's been a lovely day, now we have to go away. But we'll see you very soon in Toy Town. We'll be back another day, come and join us so we may. See you very soon again in Toy Town. I may be small, but I feel so tall in Toy Town. I take my car and I drive afar in Toy Town. There's Mr. Plod and a dog called Bumpy. Hello, Mr. Plod. Get down, Bumpy. I pass the ark, the Noahs live there, and so does the elephant, and so does the bear. Noddy, they say it's market day in Toy Town. If you have the fare, I'll take you there from Toy Town. There's Biggs who lives by the old oak tree, and we have adventures, Biggs and me. Why don't you come and join in the fun? Just follow me, 'cause it's only begun. I'm Noddy. I'm Noddy.
Morning, Noddy, the milkman said. How many pints? One, please. The postman was coming up the path. Is that a letter for me? Noddy didn't often get letters. Yes, the postman said sadly. A letter for you. He paused. But there wasn't a letter for me. No one ever writes to me. Well, perhaps Noddy will write to you, the milkman said sympathetically. I'd love to write to you, Noddy said. But I can't write. Nor read, the postman asked hopefully. No. Then you can't read a letter. Can I open it? You already have. I don't often get the chance to read letters. I only deliver them. Day in, day out, I deliver them, but I never get the chance to read one. Well, get on with it then, the milkman said. I've got work to do. But the postman wasn't going to be hurried. Oh, what a treat, what a treat, he kept muttering. At last he was ready. Dear Noddy, he read out. Please, he paused. Please, I can't make this out. Here, give it to me. No. And please, he continued, come at 9:30 this morning. 9:30? He looked at his watch. You better hurry up, Noddy. Couldn't you finish the letter? Noddy asked politely. I want to correct... That isn't correct, the milkman said. It's collect. Some parcels. You've got to collect some parcels, Noddy, in your car. Who from? Noddy asked. Signed, Mrs. Noah, the Ark, Toy Town. Is that all? The milkman said. Wasn't worth waiting for. He picked up his pints of milk. Noddy, he said, you better learn to read and write. You'd better go to school. Go to school? Oh, dear, I'd better go to Mrs. Noah first. Noddy drove slowly through Toy Town, through the market square. Mr. Plod was busy directing the traffic. Oh, dear, what does he mean? Now, does he mean left or right? Noddy thought that Mr. Plod had signalled him to the right. Mr. Plod had signalled him to the left. You can't go that way, he roared. If you can't tell left from right, you'd better go to school. That's the second time today I've been told to go to school, Noddy thought. Noddy's car was so full of parcels, he hardly had room to drive. Red for the toy shop, green for the station, yellow for the market. Mrs. Noah had marked the parcels very carefully. Noddy, Noddy, said a voice. Big Ears, how nice to see you. I'm sorry I can't give you a lift. I haven't got any room. Never mind about the room. Mr. Plod is after you. Where are you going with those parcels?
Red for the station, green for the post office. Oh, no, dear Big Ears, I've got all mixed up again.
Well, can't you read what Mrs. Noah has written on the parcels?
No, Noddy said.
In that case, said Big Ears, there's only one place for you, and that's school. I'll help you this once, but you'll have to read and write and learn to tell right from left and add up. I'll help you, Big Ears said. Follow me.
So that's what Noddy did. First they went to the toy shop and delivered the parcel marked red, and they drove to the market and delivered the parcel marked yellow. P.C. Plod was still in the market square, directing Toy Town traffic.
I've been looking for you, he roared at Noddy. You committed a traffic offence. Well, it wasn't his fault, Big Ears pleaded. He can't tell left from right. Then he'd better go to school, Mr. Plod said sternly. That's just what he's going to do. Well, I'll let you off this once, but mind you learn properly, he roared.
I'm rather frightened, Noddy said as they drove along.
No need for that. Stop! Oh, stop! Please stop!
It was Mr. Wobbly Man.
Noddy, can you help? The clockwork clown has broken his clockwork.
I'm going to school, Noddy said.
There he is.
Mr. Wobbly Man pointed down the street. The clockwork clown was walking towards them, upside down.
Noddy, please take me to the doctor, he said. I can't stand the right way up.
In you get then, Noddy said. And the clown tried to climb in. But it was difficult, upside down.
You'll have to go slowly, he said. My clockwork won't stand speed at the moment. Take care.
Mr. Wobbly Man waved farewell.
Get better soon.
The clown was most grateful to Big Ears and Noddy.
How much is that?
He asked. 5 pence, please.
If I give you 10 pence, you can give me 5 pence change?
I don't know, Noddy said. I can't count.
You can't count?
The clockwork clown asked in amazement.
Then you better go to school.
That's where I was going, Noddy sighed.
Here, Big Ear said. I'll count the pennies out for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thank you, Noddy said, and stretched out his hand to take 10 pence from the clockwork clown.
Whoop! Now you haven't got any pence in your hands, Big Ears grumbled.
We have. Oh, you would. It was the Skittle children. They were running all over the road, looking for the clockwork clown's 5 pence. And the clockwork clown was running as fast as his hands would let him. So was Big Ears, and so was Noddy. The right way up, of course.
Ha ha ha, hey hey hey, I've got a penny for my tea. No, you haven't.
The clockwork clown made a grab at one of the Skittles. And then to Noddy's and Big Ears' amazement, he rolled over and stood on his feet.
Let's put my clockwork back in place. Thank you, Noddy. Thank you, Big Ears. And as for you, Skittle children, you might as well keep my 5 pence.
And the clockwork clown somersaulted away. The schoolmistress was a plump little doll with a bonnet and shawl, and she wore big glasses on her nose. Noddy felt rather scared of her, but he wasn't going to show it. Not for anything.
Ah, Noddy, isn't it?
She said.
I'm Miss Hap. Oh.
A pile of books came tumbling off her desk.
Dear, dear,
She said.
all these little accidents, I keep having them all the time. Is that why you're called Miss Hap?
Noddy asked.
Miss Hap? Miss Hap. Dear, dear, I hadn't thought of that. Are you sure you need to come to school? I can't read or write or count, Noddy said. We'll soon put that right. Now then, Noddy, do you know the twice times tables? No, Noddy said. Do you know any table? Only the one at home, Noddy said. I eat my breakfast off it. Everyone laughed, but Noddy didn't. Noddy didn't know what there was to laugh at.
Be quiet, Miss Hap shouted. I won't tolerate disorder in my class. You're to behave yourselves, all of you.
Noddy, the twice times table is 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times... Mishap, another mishap, the children shouted. A beautiful vase with flowers was lying broken at Miss Hap's feet. Is school always like this? Noddy asked. We'll sing a song now, Miss Hap said. We'll sing Jack and Jill Went Up the Hill. I don't know a song about Jack and Jill, but I can sing a song myself, Noddy said.
Bet you can't even write the letter N,
one of the monkeys shouted. Bet I can, Noddy shouted back, though he knew he couldn't. In that case, Miss Hap ordered, you'd better come up here and prove it. So Noddy walked up to the blackboard, and Miss Hap wrote out for him the letter N. And Noddy copied it. But it didn't look quite right. Hey, it's mirror writing, Miss Hap said.
it's inside out.
The monkey shouted.
That's not what an N looks like. Do it again.
And Noddy did. And this time, it looked just like Miss Hap's.
Well done, Noddy. Very good. You see, I can do it.
It was the end of term. Lots of toys were at the school. Even Big Ears had come to see how Noddy was getting on. Miss Hap sat behind a pile of books. She picked one up. The Clockwork Mouse, she called out. A prize for being a fast runner. Everyone clapped. Tubby Bear, for learning his alphabet. Again, everyone clapped. Noddy hardest of all. He liked Tubby Bear. I'm afraid I'm not going to get a prize, he thought. Then he saw Miss Hap looking at him. Noddy, she said. Don't you want your prize? I've been calling your name. Oh, Noddy said. It seemed a long way to her desk.
That's for learning to read and write and add up,
she said, and gave him his book. All the toys cheered. Noddy had never been so proud. And Big Ears flung his arms round Noddy. You are clever, he said.
It's been a lovely day, now we have to go away. But we'll see you very soon in Toy Town. We'll be back another day, come and join us so we may see you very soon again in Toy Town. It's been a lovely day, now we have to go away. But we'll see you very soon in Toy Town. We'll be back another day, come and join us so we may see you very soon again in Toy Town. I may be small, but I feel so tall in Toy Town. take my car and I drive afar in Toy Town. There's Mr. Plod and a dog called Bumpy. Hello, Mr. Plod. Get down, Bumpy. I pass the Ark, the Noahs live there, and so does the elephant, and so does the bear. Noddy, they say it's market day in Toy Town. If you have the fare, I'll take you there through Toy Town. There's Biggies who lives by the old oak tree, and we have adventures, Biggies and me. Why don't you come and join in the fun? Just follow me, 'cause it's only begun. I'm Noddy. I'm Noddy.
When Noddy woke up, he knew it was a special day, his special shopping day. He was counting the pennies he had saved when the milkman called. 1 pint or 2? 3, please. You're very rich. Yes, I am, aren't I? Time for an ice cream, Noddy thought. Lovely, isn't it? Katie and Tessie were licking their ice creams. Thank you for inviting us, they said. Sailor Sam cycled past. He's in a hurry, isn't he? Katie said. It was your fault, you silly dog, running across the road like that just when I wanted to go fast, Sailor Sam said. Oh, my head, my head. And without waiting to see if the dog was hurt, he got on his bicycle and pedalled away. You poor little dog, Noddy said. Are you hurt? Oh, it's your paw, is it? Let's have a look. I think I'd better bandage it. Here. And he took out his handkerchief and bandaged the dog's paw. The dog was very grateful. Don't do that. Is he all right? Katie asked. I've bandaged his paw for him. That's good, Katie said, and lolloped home. Don't jump over any lampposts, Tessie called after her. Let's go home, Noddy said. He'd forgotten about his shopping. Noddy dropped Tessie at home and then drove out to Big Ear's toadstool house. Noddy knocked on the door. There was no reply. He knocked again and gingerly opened the front door. But there was no one there. Big Ears! Big Ears! Noddy called.
Noddy, I'm out here.
Big Ears was hanging out his washing. At least, Big Ears was trying to hang out his washing.
Do come and help me, Noddy. Where are you?
I came to tell you about a poor dog, Noddy called.
Poor dog? Hasn't he got any money?
Big Ear's voice was rather muffled. I don't mean that kind of poor. Noddy picked up the curtains. Big Ears, why do you hang out your washing on such a windy day?
Because it's a good drying day, of course,
Big Ears replied. I can't get these curtains to stay on the line.
You are clumsy,
Big Ears complained. I am trying. But Noddy couldn't manage at all.
Have you never hung out curtains before?
Noddy hadn't.
What's that you're saying? Oh, Noddy. You better get that clothes peg back,
Big Ears said. All right. But it didn't help matters. Big Ears wasn't doing any better. The sheets wouldn't do as they were told. And the wind wouldn't do as it was told.
I'll put a spell on you, you silly wind,
Big Ears shouted at it.
You're supposed to do as I tell you. And I didn't tell you to cover Noddy's face with my sheets.
It is all so clever, Big Ears.
Noddy mumbled.
Kindly disentangle me. I can't see a thing. And what's more, I can't breathe.
You need to breathe as well, Big Ears asked. It was at that moment that he saw his clean curtains. At least, they weren't clean any longer. They were covered with mud. Big Ears was furious. Now look what you've gone and done. You can jolly well help me wash them again.
Oh, no.
Noddy groaned. Yes, yes, Big Ears said. I better take this sheet in, and you better wipe your face. Where's your hanky? Noddy put his hand in his pocket. No hanky. Then he remembered.
Oh, I gave it to that dog.
What dog? Come on, Noddy. Help me with these. So they carried the curtains back into the house. Noddy had had enough.
Oh, thank goodness for that,
he thought as he got back into his car. You never told me about that dog, Big Ears called after him. Oh, I wonder why. He was very puzzled. The next morning, Noddy was cleaning his car when someone came running up.
Oh,
Said someone. Noddy fell flat on his face.
oh, it's you again, is it? Is your paw better?
Ruff, the dog said, and tried to lick Noddy's face.
Have you brought my hanky back?
Noddy asked. And the dog gave a sad ruff.
Oh, never mind. I'm glad your paw's better. Goodbye, dog.
And Noddy got into his car. He pulled the starter, and then he looked at the dog.
Oh, all right,
He said with a sigh.
you'd better get in.
Ruff!
You're a very insistent dog, aren't you?
Ruff! The dog said. They were just starting when they saw Mr. Plod. Noddy couldn't resist it. He drove round and round Mr. Plod, and as he drove, he made up a poem.
I like your helmet, Mr. Plod. I like your funny nose. And if I peeped inside your boots, perhaps I'd like your toes. I like your big and boomy voice. I like your buttons bright. But, Mr. Plod, I would not like to dream of you at night.
Mr. Plod wasn't a bit pleased. Move along, he shouted. But Noddy kept driving round and round.
I'm not a roundabout, I'll have you know. If you don't stop treating me as one, I'll have you for a traffic offence. I'll imprison you if you don't stop.
So Noddy stopped.
Time to go home, you bumpy dog,
He said.
You've had your ride. Goodbye, Miss Plod. Happy dreams.
Noddy was going to bed that night when he heard a funny sort of scratching noise outside the door.
Oh, I wonder what that is,
he thought.
Oh, not you again, you bumpy dog.
Noddy sighed.
Oh, all right, but for this one night only. And don't knock me over. Don't lick me either.
Noddy said.
I don't need a bath just now. I need my supper. Sit down over there while I eat it.
Ruff, said the dog, hopefully.
I suppose you want some too.
Now, Noddy said, when they'd finished, tomorrow I really am going to do my shopping. He picked up his piggy bank. There's still lots there, he said, and put it safely away. And then Noddy went to bed. At least, he tried to go to bed. But every time he tried, the dog got there first.
No, I'm not having that. You'd better go back home.
And he put the bumpy dog outside. It was Noddy's shopping day. When he got up, he opened the drawer to take out his pennies. Noddy stared. His piggy bank had gone. Mr. Plod was summoned.
Hello. A clear case of burglary,
He said.
I shall require a full statement.
Please find the thief. Dear Mr. Plot. I worked so hard for all that money.
Pity you didn't keep that dog. He would have guarded you. It's considered advisable on this beat.
But Mr. Plod never said what was considered advisable. Mr. Plod was flat on his back.
What are you doing on the floor?
Noddy asked. Mr. Plod got up.
Where's my helmet? He sobbed. Give it here at once. That helmet belongs to Toy Town Constabulary. At once.
But Bumpy Dog took no notice and ran outside into Tessie Bear's garden. Have you lent this dog your helmet, Mr. Plod?
Certainly not.
I think he wants to bury it. He thinks it's a bone, Tessie said.
You are a nuisance of a dog. Do go away,
said Noddy. But the dog wouldn't. And he wouldn't give Mr. Plod his helmet either.
If you don't get rid of that dog, Noddy,
Mr. Plod said,
I shan't help you find your money. I am not obliged to assist in cases of gross negligence.
Come on,
Noddy said to Bumpy Dog.
give Mr. Plot his helmet. Please.
If you do, I'll give you a bone. So he and Tessie Bear drove to the countryside. The Bumpy Dog took the bone and trotted off with it to the foot of a tree. He began to dig and scrape, sending earth flying all over Noddy and Tessie Bear.
I'm glad you're not my dog,
Noddy said, as he and Tessie Bear cleaned the wet mud off themselves.
How dare you? How dare you?
A nasty-looking goblin in a red hat was advancing towards them.
Stop that dog. Stop him at once.
Why should we? Noddy demanded.
He's not doing any harm. Just tell him to stop digging,
the goblin shouted.
The dogwood don't belong to you.
Nor does that piggy bank, Tessie shouted. It's Noddy's. That wicked goblin must have stolen it. Gobbo made himself scarce, but the Bumpy Dog wasn't going to let him get away. That dog has his uses, Noddy admitted. I think he's great, Tessie said. Bumpy caught Gobbo. There, didn't I tell you? He's the best dog in the world. Toy Town thought so too. A reception committee was waiting for him. The Bumpy Dog leapt up to greet Mr. Plod.
Will you stop doing that?
Mr. Plod roared.
Don't shout at him,
Noddy said.
He's caught a thief. He's a lovely dog.
He's not lovely,
said Mr. Plod.
He's a dog I tire of very quickly.
Well, I don't.
Sometimes, Noddy said.
Big Ears, I'd like to introduce you to...
He paused.
To Bumpy. That's what we'll call him. Bumpy.
Hello, Bumpy. I hope you're not going to live up to your name, he said unwisely.
Oh, dear. I don't think you'd better live with me,
Noddy said.
if you're going to do that all the time.
Nor me, Big Ear said. I'll have him. You? They looked at Tessie Bear in surprise. I'd love to have him live with me and look after me. Bumpy was licking the faces of everyone in sight. So that's settled then, Noddy said. And it was. And that's how Bumpy Dog came to live with Tessie Bear. Wasn't it lucky I found him? Noddy said.
But I feel so tall in Toy Town. I take my car and I drive afar in Toy Town. There's Mr. Plod and a dog called Bumpy. Hello, Mr. Plod. Get down, Bumpy. I pass the Ark, the Noahs live there, and so does the elephant, and so does the bear. Noddy, they say it's market day in Toy Town. If you have the fare, I'll take you there through Toy Town. There's Biggies who lives by the old oak tree, and we have adventures, Biggies and me. Why don't you come and join in the fun? Just follow me, 'cause it's only begun. I'm Noddy. I'm Noddy.
I'd better hurry up with my cake. Noddy had a busy morning ahead. Big Ears will be here soon. 8 ounces of flour. There was a knock at the door. I'm coming in a minute, Noddy called. My hands are all sticky. You'd better hurry up. There's been an accident. An accident? Noddy hurried to the door. Tessie Bear was standing outside. Big Ears has had an accident on his bicycle. Oh, no. Is he hurt? Poor Big Ears was on his way to see you, and around a corner he ran into Jumbo, the toy elephant. Oh, what happened? What happened? Tell me quickly. He fell off and hurt his head, and his bicycle is smashed to pieces. I'll go straight away, Noddy said. You'd better get all that flour and butter off your hands first. Oh, yes. Noddy quickly dried his hands and ran outside. He drove off as fast as he could. Big Ears was sitting on a bench, a big bandage round his head. Jumbo was trying to pick bits of bicycle off himself, coming along at 60 miles an hour like that, never ringing his bell, and me with a basket full of eggs. What a mess, he grumbled. It was. There were smashed eggs and bits of bicycle all over the ground. Noddy ran straight over to Big Ears. Big Ears, are you all right?
I feel a bit funny,
Big Ears said.
And my poor bicycle, oh, it's smashed to bits.
You'd better come home with me, Noddy said firmly.
Oh, what about Jumbo?
I'll help him. Sally Skittle came running up.
I keep ringing,
Jumbo said in a puzzled voice.
Whenever I move, I am ringing.
Got the bicycle bell on your tail, Sally Skittle said. Here, I'll take it. Noddy couldn't help smiling. Come on, Big Ears, he said. Dr. Bear is here to see you. Noddy had made Big Ears as comfortable as he could.
Oh, I'm ill. Oh, I'm ill.
Big Ears moaned. Does it hurt here? Dr. Bear asked. You'd better keep your friend in bed, and whatever you do, don't let him worry. Not worry. It was easier said than done. Big Ears worried about his house, he worried about his cat, Whiskers, and he worried about his bicycle. Noddy didn't know what to do.
Oh, I've no money saved up,
he said.
I can't even buy a new bicycle. Oh.
It was easy enough to deal with some of Big Ears' worries. Sally Skittle said she would look after the house. It was easy enough to deal with Whiskers because Noddy went and fetched him. But what to do about the bicycle, he did not know. I'll have to earn some more money, he thought. Perhaps I could make up a song and sell it. I could charge 5 pence a time. He walked across to Mr. Tubby Bear. And as he went, he made up a song. Mr. Tubby Bear has got a lovely grunt. It isn't at the back and it isn't at the front. It's somewhere in the middle. It's somewhere right inside. Ask him if you want to hear it. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. Mr. Tubby Bear liked his song very much and gave Noddy 5 pence.
I like the bit about my lovely grunt,
he said.
Oh, he added, here's another 5 pence. You're to go to Ahoy Cottage.
There were 6 sacks to be collected. Noddy piled them into his car. The 3 Skittle children watched him, but didn't offer any help. Lazy things, Noddy thought. He drove the sacks to Red Goblin Corner, as he'd been told. He unloaded them one by one and left them by the old oak tree. Oh, that'll be all right, he thought. The following day, he was passing Mr. Wobblyman's garden. Mr. Wobblyman was hard at work. He was trying to plant some seeds, but being round in the middle and unable to bend makes seed planting very difficult.
I wish I had some help,
He thought. What are you planting? Noddy asked.
beans.
Do they grow?
Of course they grow, Mr. Wobblyman said. When I can get them in, they grow into bean plants.
And he gave an extra large wobble and quickly popped in another seed. What do you do with bean plants when they have grown? Noddy asked.
You do ask some silly questions, Noddy.
Mr. Wobblyman sounded quite annoyed.
I eat as many as I want and sell the rest.
I could do that to earn some money, couldn't I? Noddy said.
If you want to earn some money, you could finish this row for me. I'm getting very tired doing all these wobbles.
Noddy set to work, and very soon he had planted all Mr. Wobblyman's seeds. Mr. Wobblyman gave Noddy 1 penny. That'll help, Noddy thought, as he walked into Toy Town. I wonder how much more I need for a new bicycle. He was standing in front of the sweet shop. There were lots of sweets in jars, bullseyes and toffees and peppermint drops. I wonder, Noddy thought, I wonder. And he went into the shop. Noddy was very busy that afternoon. In one hand he held a basket, while with the other he popped some little white things into a row of holes.
Taken up gardening, have you?
The Wobblyman asked. Noddy looked up. Yes, he said. I have great plans.
Great plans, have you?
Mr. Wobblyman sounded interested.
And what might they be?
I don't want Big Ears to hear. It's a surprise.
Oh, I won't tell him.
Mr. Wobblyman promised. I bought some sweets with that penny you gave me.
Well, that'll please him, I'm sure.
Mr. Wobblyman said kindly. You don't understand. I'm planting them.
Planting them?
Yes. Look, I've got 3 rows. Peppermints, toffees, and bullseyes. When they've grown, Noddy said eagerly, I'm going to sell them. And then I'll have enough money to buy Big Ears a new bicycle.
Oh, no, that won't do.
Won't do?
No. Here, take these.
Mr. Wobblyman gave Noddy 3 packets. Thank you. What are they?
This one is peas, this one is beans, and this one is sunflowers.
Oh, but I haven't got any more room in my garden.
I know, Mr. Wobblyman said kindly. Sweets don't grow. Seeds do. But you'll have to wait for them.
So Noddy dug up all his sweets and planted the seeds Mr. Wobblyman had given him. But he was very disappointed. Now Big Ears will never get his bicycle. That night, Noddy slept in a chair. But not for long. He was woken by a loud knocking at the door.
Whoever is that?
He thought sleepily. It was Mr. Plod, Sailor Sam, and the Skittles children. We saw him, we saw him, we saw him, they chanted.
What's going on?
Big Ears and Whiskers had woken up.
Stealing, thieving, that's what's going on,
Mr. Plod said, solemnly taking a notebook from his pocket.
Now then, Noddy, I shall need a statement. He was seen at 15:40 p.m. stealing sacks from a Hoy cottage.
It was him, it was him. The 3 Skittles children were dancing up and down. Do be quiet, Noddy said. Of course you saw me. Sailor Sam left a message for me with Mr. Tubby Bear asking me to take 6 sacks out of his shed. I never left such a message, Sailor Sam said indignantly. It's a lie. A plot to steal all my carrots and swedes and turnips. Big Ears suddenly rang his bicycle bell very loudly.
How dare you accuse Noddy of lying and stealing, he said. Go and see Mr. Bear, you over-officious policeman, and find out for yourself whether or not Noddy is telling the truth.
But Mr. Plod was not going to be budged.
Before I leave this dwelling, he said, Noddy has to hand over to Sailor Sam 10 new paints.
So this is what Noddy had to do. But it left him with no money for Big Ear's bicycle. None at all. Later that night, when Big Ears and Whiskers were once more fast asleep, Noddy stole out of the house and into his car. He drove as silently as he could to Red Goblin Corner. When he got there, he switched off his lights and waited by the old oak tree. It was dark and quiet. There was no moon, and now and again, an owl hooted. Suddenly, Noddy heard a noise. He pounced and caught hold of something that struggled and squealed and tried to get away. But Noddy wasn't having any of that. He dropped the something in front of his car and turned on the lights. Glaring balefully at him was Gobbo the Goblin.
Here, let me go, Gov. Let me go.
Gobbo cried.
It was only a joke, you know. I don't mean no harm.
You come along with me, straight to Mr. Plod.
Oh, no, not Mr. Plod. And I'll tell you what,
he said.
If I cast a spell and magic Big Ears a new bicycle, will you let me go?
All right, Noddy said, but no more tricks. And he drove him to his house.
Oh, I need a bit of the old bike if my spell is to work,
Gobbo said. Noddy gave him the bicycle bell.
Ah, that should do the trick,
Gobbo said.
What trick?
Big Ears had woken up.
Watch.
And Gobbo put the bell on the ground and danced round it, chanting,
Bell, bell, I weave you a spell. Bicycle magic is in it. Grow, grow, 2 wheels in a row. Make a doors and break. Bell, bell, I weave you a spell.
And there, as shining and new as anyone could wish, was Big Ear's bicycle. Big Ears was too excited even to ask where it had come from. He rode round and round until Noddy felt dizzy watching him.
You're the best friend in the world,
Big Ears said, and smiled all over his big red face.
I may be small, but I feel so tall in Toy Town. I take my car and I drive afar in Toy Town. There's Mr. Plod and a dog called Bumpy. Hello, Mr. Plod. Get down, Bumpy. I pass the Ark, the Noahs live there, and so does the elephant, and so does the bear. Now that they say it's market day in Toy Town. If you have the fare, I'll take you there through Toy Town. There's Biggers who lives by the old oak tree, and we have adventures, Biggers and me. Why don't you come and join in the fun? Just follow me, 'cause it's only begun. I'm Noddy. I'm Noddy.
Noddy sat down to breakfast. Must be the milkman, he thought. But it wasn't the milkman. It was Big Ears. My goodness, you're early, Noddy said. Come in and have some breakfast.
There isn't time for breakfast.
Why ever not?
Because I have a plan.
I hope it's a nice plan.
1 pint or 2? Noddy won't need any milk today.
Won't I?
No, Big Ears said. We're going away. We're going to the seaside.
You are lucky. I wish I could come. Noddy and Big Ears were soon on their way. Noddy so excited he could hardly drive.
Do be careful,
Big Ears kept saying.
Taxi, taxi,
Mr. Wobbly Man called. Can't stop. Going to the seaside.
Mind where you're going.
But all Noddy minded was that they got to the seaside.
Gotta get the gear, Noddy,
Big Ears said, and rushed into his toadstool house. They were soon on the open road. I wonder what the sea is like. A cow was standing in the middle of the road.
You'd better hoot at her,
Big Ears said. The cow shook her head sadly and wandered back into the field. This is real country, isn't it? Noddy said. Oh, I do hope we get there soon.
Nearly there.
Noddy couldn't drive fast enough. Up a hill and down a hill. Noddy thought they'd never get there. What's that?
That's the sea, Big Ears said. The lovely, blue, wavy sea.
Goodness, it is big,
Noddy said.
Where does it end?
I'm not sure, Big Ears said, but it is where it begins.
They were soon on the beach. Noddy picked up the sand and let it trail through his fingers. Couldn't we build something with it?
Of course.
Big Ears had thought of everything. Out of the car, he produced buckets and spades.
Look, he said. I'll show you how to build sandcastles.
Fantastic. Big Ears and Noddy spent the whole afternoon building sandcastles. My goodness, I'm hungry. Where are we going to eat? And where, Noddy added as an afterthought, are we going to sleep?
I brought a tent, Big Ears said.
A tent? What's that?
You'll see,
Big Ears said mysteriously, and disappeared. Noddy sat alone on the beach and watched the waves beating on the sand and listened to the sad cry of the seagulls. Noddy shivered. He felt very small.
Time for work,
Big Ears called.
Here, you hold this.
And he put the tent pole in Noddy's hands.
Up there. We don't want to camp too near the water.
Noddy dug his tent pole into the sand. And then another.
Hold on,
Big Ears called. Suddenly, it was very dark. Oh, where's the sun?
In the usual place. Keep still a minute.
But Noddy wouldn't keep still. And before he knew what had happened, he and Big Ears, the tent and the tent pole, were lying in a mangled heap. But at least it was light again. It's very complicated, he said. Isn't it?
Not really.
He looked round.
Where are the tent pegs, Noddy? Noddy? Noddy! He's done it again.
And Big Ears dived in after him. Big Ears, where are you?
Help!
Big Ears called.
Help! Get me out!
I'll try, Noddy said.
Do hurry up!
Noddy did his best. There you are, Big Ears. Big Ears disentangled himself and looked round in surprise.
Well, who's put the tent up?
I don't know. Noddy looked round for someone else.
Oh, it must have been you. Yeah, I suppose it's easy enough when you have someone to show you,
Big Ears said. I like camping, Noddy said, and went inside. His first day at the seaside had been tremendous fun. It's nice and cozy, isn't it? Noddy said. Where are the beds?
No beds. Don't have beds for camping. I've got us 2 sleeping bags.
Big Ears unrolled one pink and one blue.
Pink for you, blue for me. Everything is different when you're camping,
Big Ears said. Oh, I do like it here, Big Ears. I'd like to stay here forever and ever.
Forever is a long time, Noddy. Come on, time for bed.
Getting into the sleeping bag wasn't exactly easy. Noddy's legs stuck halfway, and no matter how hard he pushed and pulled and struggled, he couldn't get right in.
Mind out,
Big Ears called.
You do it like this.
He got up and jumped up and down. A sack race, Noddy cried, and tried to do the same. Is camping always such fun?
It's not meant to be this kind of fun.
They finally sorted themselves out. Big Ears was soon asleep. Noddy wasn't. He lay looking up at the tent roof. Then he heard it. A gentle swishing noise. Someone was beating on the tent. Big Ears! Big Ears! The only answer was a gentle snore. Noddy switched on his torch and gasped in horror. It's a giant moth! Ooh! Noddy screamed.
What? Where?
Look! Look! Noddy pointed to the giant shadow beating over them, and then hid in his sleeping bag.
Noddy, don't be silly. It's only a little moth.
It isn't a little moth. It's a huge giant moth.
No, it isn't. That was just its shadow.
Noddy's head emerged slowly. Big Ears had a tiny yellow moth in his hands.
It's only a baby,
he said, and put it out.
Shadows always do that. I'll show you.
Big Ears made all kinds of animal shadows with his hands. Ducks and rabbits. Noddy was delighted by them.
I'm going to sleep now,
Big Ears said, and he was soon snoring. Even Noddy was tired. He closed his eyes and sat up with a jolt. What's that? What's that? Something or someone was walking round the tent. Noddy could hear the crunch of the sand. He could hear them trip over the guy rope. Big Ears snored. Then someone tried to get in. Big Ears, please wake up. There's someone out there.
What is it this time?
Noddy pointed in terror. Big Ears leapt up. They listened to it walking away.
Noddy, it's only a cow. Go on, shoo away, cow. Now will you go to sleep? And for goodness sake, don't wake me up again.
Big Ears was soon asleep. And so was Noddy. The next day, Noddy and Big Ears were up with the sun and sailing the most beautiful boat Noddy had ever seen. Look, Big Ears, he called. Look how fast it's going. Ow! My foot, something's got my foot. It was a large red crab, and it had a firm grip on Noddy's big toe. It took Big Ears some time to persuade it to let go. Put it back in the pool, Noddy said. But it scuttled away. What shall we do now?
Catch crabs, of course.
Big Ears said. And he and Noddy set to with fishing nets, competing to see who could catch the largest crab.
It's funny,
Noddy said.
but the sea seems to be getting nearer and nearer. And there are lots more pools.
The tide's coming in, Big Ears said.
Does it always get cold and windy when the tide comes in?
Noddy asked. Big Ears hadn't noticed until then. It was certainly cold. The sky had turned a deep grey, and a blustery wind was making them both feel cold. We'd better get in our tent, Big Ears said. They huddled together as the wind buffeted their canvas roof. I do hope it stops soon, Big Ears said miserably.
I'll have a look,
Noddy said, and he popped his head outside the tent flap.
What's that?
They could hear a faint cry in the distance. Noddy, look! There's a boat out there, right out at sea, in the storm. Big Ears looked through his telescope. In the boat were 2 teddy bears. Their cries of "Help! Help!" echoed faintly across the water. Before Big Ears could stop him, Noddy was out, up the beach, and into his car.
Noddy! Do come back, Noddy! You'll drown!
But Noddy was already in the sea, and his little car was churning through the wind and the waves and the rain towards the boat.
Have you got a rope?
Noddy shouted.
Here! Catch!
Noddy tied it to the seat.
Hold on!
He called. Slowly he towed the boat towards Big Ears and the beach. Big Ears was waiting for them. Noddy, you're a hero, he said. The 2 teddy bears couldn't thank Noddy enough.
It wasn't me. It was my car. We would have drowned without you,
they said.
Will you come back to my house
One of the teddy bears asked.
and have some hot tea? I'm sure you must be cold.
But Noddy and Big Ears had had enough. They were cold and they were tired, and they wanted to get home. The news of Noddy's heroic rescue had soon spread to Toy Town. We'll give them a surprise, Mr. Tubby Bear said. It was my cousins that Noddy saved. An amazed Noddy and Big Ears drove into the market square. All of Toy Town were out to meet them, beaming from ear to ear. Even Mr. Plod looked pleased. Welcome home, they shouted. Welcome home.
I may be small, but I feel so tall in Toy Town. I take my car and I drive afar in Toy Town. There's Mr. Plod and a dog called Bumpy. Hello, Mr. Plod. Get down, Bumpy. I pass the ark, the Noah's live there, and so does the elephant, and so does the bear. Noddy say it's market day in Toy Town. If you have the fare, I'll take you there in Toy Town. There's Biggies who lives by the old oak tree, and we have adventures, Biggies and me. Why don't you come, join in the fun, just for a week, 'cause it's only begun. I'm Noddy. I'm Noddy.
Today's going to be a good day, Noddy thought happily. An extra special day. It certainly looked promising. Good morning. Mr. Milkman was delivering the milk. I think I'll have some cream today. Will you now? Said the milkman. It must be an extra special day if you're having cream. That's exactly what it is, said Noddy. An extra special sunny day. And tucked into his breakfast. He had just scooped the last bit of yolk from his egg when he heard footsteps coming up the garden path. It was Mr. Plod. That means trouble, Noddy thought apprehensively. It certainly did. A theft has been reported. 6 jam tarts, a meat pie, and a chocolate cake
was taken from Toy Cat's larder at approximately midnight.
You don't think I did it?
Noddy was most indignant. It has furthermore been reported that the bell on top of your hat was heard during the night. Now, Noddy, where were you?
In bed.
May I have permission to investigate your larder?
Help yourself.
It wasn't going to be an extra special day at all. Extra special awful, Noddy thought gloomily. There was nothing there. And Mr. Plod left, his case unsolved. He drove through Toy Town looking for a fare. No one would speak to him. Not Mr. Wobbly Man, nor the Skittles, nor Mrs. Noah. Noddy drove back home and spent the rest of the day in bed. The next morning, he was just going to get his breakfast when there was a knock at the door. It was Mr. Plod, looking very stern indeed. He put his head out of the window. Open the door, Noddy, he said. I have something to say.
You can say it out there,
Noddy replied. I wish to ascertain your whereabouts last night.
Not again.
Someone with a jingling bell got into Mr. Wobbly Man's house last night and purloined a box of ginger biscuits.
Well, it wasn't me.
This was an emergency. A definite emergency. As soon as Mr. Plod had gone, Noddy ran to his car, pointed it in the direction of Big Ear's toadstool house, and drove off as fast as he could. He jumped out and ran to the door.
Big Ears? Big Ears,
he called.
Hurry up and let me in. It's an emergency.
But there was no reply. None at all. A small rabbit lolloped by and stared at Noddy.
Big Ears has gone away,
it said.
His brother, Little Ears, is ill, and he's gone to look after him.
Noddy drove slowly into Toy Town. Mrs. Noah was carrying 2 heavy bags of shopping.
Shall I give you a lift?
Noddy called. But Mrs. Noah turned away. Noddy was so miserable that he almost ran over Mr. Plod in the middle of the road. Mr. Plod was furious. You wait! You wait! Mr. Plod shouted, waving his fist at him. Noddy went home and cried. Then he heard a gentle tap at the door, and a head peered round, and a pair of warm arms circled round Noddy's neck. It was Tessie Bear. Don't cry, Noddy, she said. I'll help you, and so will Bumpy. And Bumpy went up to Noddy and licked him so thoroughly that Noddy couldn't help laughing. I've got a plan, Tessie Bear said. Come with me. They all 3 got into Noddy's car and drove into Toy Town. Stop here. They were outside the bell shop. It was a lovely place, crammed with bells of every kind. Big ones, small ones, some on ropes, some with handles, bicycle bells, tea bells. Bumpy ran around wagging his tail furiously, making all the bells ring. The shopkeeper appeared out of nowhere. Stop it, he shouted. We would like to know, Tessie Bear said, whether you have sold a bell like this. And she pointed to Noddy's bell. Yes, well, as a matter of fact, I have. I sold one to each of the reindeer in Noah's Ark, one to Mrs. Sailor Doll, and one to the Clockwork Mouse. Do stop it, Bumpy. Bumpy's tail was ringing a bell again. We'll see if we can find them. Thank you very much, said Tessie. Come on. They could hear the jingle of bells as soon as they got near the ark. 2 wooden reindeers stood by the steps. Have you been out at night lately? Tessie asked them. They shook their heads in surprise. Of course not. Mr. Noah always locks the ark at night. Do you like our new bells? And they jingled them louder than ever. Next, they went to Mrs. Sailor Dong's. She was most surprised.
Yes, she said. I bought a new bell for my donkey, Hee-Haw, but I'm certain he couldn't climb through anyone's window. Oh, let's go home,
Noddy said.
This is useless.
But as they drove home, they met the Clockwork Mouse.
I didn't buy it for myself.
She squeaked shyly.
I bought it for someone else.
Who? Noddy and Tessie shouted together.
The toy soldier. And don't shout like that.
And she scuttled away. So Noddy and Tessie and Bumpy drove to the fort at top speed. But the sentry wouldn't let them in. Why do you want to get into the fort? He asked sternly. I have been given orders that no toy is allowed in. Bumpy didn't like the sentry. He barked and growled, running round him in little circles and snapping at his heels. I am placing you under arrest, the sentry said to Bumpy. Bumpy said, and hid behind the sentry box. The sentry blew a whistle. 2 soldiers marched out of the fort. Capture that dog, the sentry ordered. He is under military arrest. The 2 soldiers cornered poor Bumpy and led him away. Please don't, Tessie wailed, and the sentry would say no more. Don't cry, Tessie, Noddy said. I'll get Bumpy out of that fort if it's the last thing I do. But he didn't know how he was going to do it. Come on, we'll go and have an ice cream and a think. They had a long think. Right through tea time into early evening. Then, when it was nearly dark, they drove back to the fort. Noddy parked his car a little way away. You ready? Tessie nodded, climbed out of the car, and walked towards the fort. But as she got nearer, she started limping, until by the time she got to the sentry box, she could hardly walk. There was a new sentry on duty. Oh, could you help me bandage my ankle? Tessie asked him. I think I've sprained it. It's not really allowed to. No, the sentry said. But, I will. He knelt down and bandaged Tessie's ankle. Noddy was not far behind. Holding a length of rope, he crept behind the sentry box. He hooked the rope through one of the fort windows and was up and through before the sentry had finished bandaging Tessie's foot. It was very dark inside the fort. Noddy crept along the passage, pausing now and then to listen. Then he heard it. A snuffling, shuffling, scraping noise, and then a whine. It must be Bumpy, Noddy thought. He moved on quickly, turned the corner of the passage, and there, tied to the leg of a chair, was a very downcast Bumpy. Shh, shh, he said, for sitting on a chair was a soldier, fast asleep. Noddy untied Bumpy, who was having great difficulty trying to hide his joy. Then he took the bearskin off the sleeping soldier and stole away. Tessie was still talking to the sentry. Suddenly, he snapped to attention and saluted. Tessie looked up in surprise. Marching out of the fort, a bearskin on his head and Bumpy at his side, was Noddy. That night, Noddy and Tessie tiptoed silently
to Four Chimneys House. Listen, Noddy said. The faint jingle of a bell wafted through an open downstairs window. You sure it isn't yours? Tessie whispered. Noddy took off his hat. Can't be mine now, can it? There it goes again. Then they distinctly heard someone moving about the house. Wait here, Noddy said to Tessie, and climbed through the window. Noddy moved stealthily into the room. He stopped, listened. Nothing. He moved forward, and then he bumped into a chair. Before he knew what had happened, someone had jumped on him. Down they went, struggling on the floor. Tessie heard the commotion. Help! Help! Please stop and help! Please stop! She cried. It's Noddy. He's in that house trying to catch a thief. I think he's hurt. Two shadows disappeared into the house. There was more noise. Thump, hiss, bang. Tessie stepped back in alarm. Three shadows emerged from the house. Then Noddy. Where are you, Tessie? We've got him. We've got him. Mr. Plod blinked sleepily. Standing before him were Big Ears and Little Ears. That's your thief, Noddy cried, and he pointed at the toy soldier. He stole the toy cat's 6 jam tarts and meat pie and chocolate cake and Mr. Wobbly's ginger biscuits, not me. Good job we arrived when we did, wasn't it, Noddy? Big Ears said and smiled. Now everyone knows it wasn't you. Come on, we'll go out and celebrate.
It's been a lovely day, now we have to go away, but we'll see you very soon in Toy Town. We'll be back another day, come and join us so we may see you very soon again in Toy Town. It's been a lovely day, now we have to go away, but we'll see you very soon in Toy Town. We'll be back another day, come and join us so we may see you very soon again. I may be small, but I feel so tall in Toy Town. I take my car and I drive afar in Toy Town. There's Mr. Plod and a dog called Bumpy. Hello, Mr. Plod. Get down, Bumpy. I pass the ark, the Noah's live there, and so does the elephant, and so does the bear. Now that they say it's market day in Toy Town. If you have the fare, I'll take you there to Toy Town. There's Biggs who lives by the old oak tree, and we have adventures, Biggs and me. Why don't you come and join in the fun? Just follow me, 'cause it's only begun. I'm Noddy. I'm Noddy.
Noddy had almost finished his breakfast. I hope the milkman comes soon, he thought. I've no milk for visitors. None at all. At that moment, he heard a bicycle bell. Goodness, there's Big Ears. But it wasn't Big Ears. It was Bert Monkey. Hello, Bert, Noddy said.
Hello, Noddy.
I need some help. 1 pint or 2? It was the milkman at last. I'd better have 2, Noddy said. Then Bert can tell me his troubles over a cup of hot chocolate. Troubles? The milkman said. Where there's Bert, there's always troubles. It was difficult having Bert Monkey in the house. His tail interfered with everything. Mind that teapot? Noddy called. Bert, do try and keep your tail under control.
I'll put it in my pocket,
Bert said.
that'll keep it out of the way.
Now tell me whatever it is you've come to tell me. Bert and his tail certainly were in trouble.
My tail and I borrowed my granny's magic rubber. Oh, I know I shouldn't have, but I did so want it.
Borrowed or pinched it? Noddy knew all about Bert Monkey.
Oh, it's kind of combination of a two. But I've got to get it back, Noddy. It rubs things out. Magics them right away.
That sounds dangerous, Noddy said. What do you want me to do about it?
Help me find it.
Bert said.
Drive me to Skittletown. You see, I sold it to Sam Skittle before I knew it was magic.
Bert's tail was even more of a nuisance in the car. It tried to hold the steering wheel. It hooted the hooter and got in Noddy's way whenever it could. And it pinched an apple off Gobbo's vegetable cart.
If you don't look after that tail of yours,
Noddy said.
I won't take you any further.
So Bert Monkey sat on it. Luckily, Sam Skittle was at home.
You know that pencil box I sold you?
Bert said.
Can I buy it back?
Of course, Sam said. Bert's tail tapped on it.
Oh, that means he wants it opened.
Noddy said with a sigh. But the rubber wasn't there.
Where is it?
Bert cried. Where's what?
The rubber.
Oh, that, said Sam Skittle. I gave it to Harriet Kitten.
We better go and find her. Come on, Noddy.
Harriet was bowling her hoop. At least, she was bowling it 1 minute. The next, it was gone.
Give it back, Noddy. Give what back? My hoop. I haven't got your hoop. Yes, you have.
Noddy looked down. Bert, you are a menace, he said. Bert, however, was unrepentant.
We won't give you back your hoop,
He said.
unless you give me back my rubber. The one Sam Skittle gave you. It's mine. I don't want your silly rubber,
Harriet said.
It's not a silly rubber. It's a magic rubber. Then I'm not going to give it back. I like magic rubbers.
Harriet's hoop was returned, and she started bowling it down the road. But not for long,
It's not there,
Bert said furiously.
because there's a hole. Oh, no.
Harriet started crying.
It's a new dress. I should get into awful trouble.
It's that rubber, Noddy said. It rubs everything out. Here. He gave Harriet a sweet. Don't cry,
Thank you, Noddy.
Harriet said tearfully.
Now what are we going to do?
Bert was looking most unhappy. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to put up a big notice in the market square offering a reward of 2 ice creams to anyone who finds your rubber. Lost. A big old rubber. 2 ice creams will be given to anyone who finds it and brings it to Bert Monkey.
Let's go and have an ice cream while we're waiting.
Bert said. I'll have to go and park the car first, Noddy said. I don't want Mr. Plod after me. You order the ice creams. Bert looked round the tables.
Which one is best, I wonder? Yeah, that one.
Hey, that's my seat.
A voice called. It was Gobbo the Goblin.
I'm sitting there.
Not now, you're not.
We'll see about that.
Gobbo said. Bert took no notice.
I'll have 2 large strawberry ice creams.
He ordered.
That's got rid of him.
He thought with satisfaction.
Silly old goblin.
But the silly old goblin had been busy.
Bert,
He said,
I've just seen two toys reading your notice board. I think they found your rubber.
"Where are they? Where are they?"
Bert jumped up.
Ow!
He yelled as Mr. Wobbly Man went down.
Help! Oh, calamity! Oh, dear, oh, dear! Oh.
Right, names and addresses, please. It was Mr. Plod.
What do you think you are doing lying on a cafe floor?
I can't get up. I can't get up.
Whether you are up or down is of no interest to me. You have disturbed the peace. Kindly make a statement. How can he make a statement? Noddy had arrived. "Help me get him up," he said furiously to Mr. Plod. It is not part of the function of the constabulary to put citizens on their feet.
Here, I'll help.
Bert had untied his tail from the chair and now put it around Mr. Wobbly's middle. "Heave!" he cried. They soon had Mr. Wobbly Man upright. "Oh, thank goodness your tail's been useful for once," Noddy said. Then he looked at Bert's guilty face. "Or is this," he said, "is this all your fault again?" No, not really," Bert said. "I was sitting at our table, minding my own business."
My table, you mean?
"Oh, it's you, is it?" said Mr. Plod. "I might have known you were involved."
I ain't done nothing wrong.
Gobbo wailed.
It's him, it's that monkey. He pinched my seat, and this morning he stole an apple from me barrow.
"You're what?" Mr. Plod roared. "Have you been trading without a license again?" But Gobbo had gone. Pursuing him as fast as he could was Mr. Plod. "Oh, thank goodness for that," Mr. Wobbly Man said. "I never could take to the police. And as for you," he said, looking fiercely at Bert, "come and have an ice cream with us." Noddy put in quickly. "We're having ice cream while we wait for someone to find Bert's magic rubber and claim their reward." They didn't have to wait long. Did you put up that notice?" "Yeah," Bert said. "Have you found my rubber?"
"I haven't," the toy cat said, "but I saw Master Tubby Bear picking it up off the road."
"Do I get an ice cream?" "This is going to be expensive," Noddy muttered. "Not until we found it," Bert said. "Then you can have one for putting us on the trail." "I think I'll have it now," the toy cat said firmly, and ordered an ice cream. "Come on." "Yeah, time we went."
Here, I'll pay for the ice cream.
And that's what Bert Monkey did.
Oh, dear, I might have known it was Tubby Bear. We'd better go and see him.
Young Tubby Bear was busy rubbing out the bear household. He had rubbed a hole in the tablecloth, a hole in the chair, a hole in the dining room carpet. Noddy was aghast. Tubby, stop using that rubber." But Tubby took no notice. He just went on rubbing. "He'll rub away the whole house. Stop it." "Isn't this fun?" he said. "I've never had such a lovely rubber before. Won't my mummy be surprised?" "Where is she?" Noddy yelled.
She's out. What can we do, Noddy?
Bert cried.
"Where's Bumpy? If we can find Bumpy, he'll get the rubber to us."
Bumpy!
"Bumpy! Bumpy!" Bumpy was not slow to answer. "Oh, Bumpy," Noddy said. "For goodness sake, stop being so enthusiastic. Now, hand it over." Tubby merely laughed.
If you come near, he cried, I'll rub you out.
Noddy and Bert retired for a council of war.
They didn't see Tubby creeping up behind them. And Bert Monkey didn't feel the rubber on the tip of his tail. He was too occupied. Do be quiet, Noddy said. But Bumpy wouldn't be quiet. He just kept on barking. And Tubby kept on rubbing at Bert's tail.
Bumpy, if you don't... Look out, Bert!
Here, look, he cried.
Here, look what Tubby's done to my tail.
Hey, look, just look what he's done. Oh, dear. Noddy made a dive at Tubby, and Tubby made a dive for the door.
Got you!
Noddy shouted.
You are a good dog,
Noddy called. For Tubby had dropped the magic rubber, and Bumpy had picked it up.
Thank you very much. You're the best dog ever.
And he put his arm round Bumpy's neck. Only Bert and his half-rubbed-out tail looked disconsolate.
It's nearly all rubbed away,
he said sadly.
Never mind,
Noddy said.
your tail was always getting you into trouble. You're probably better off with it like that. It does steal things like the magic rubber and,
He hesitated.
the toy cat's fob watch.
You'd better give them both back, you know. And that's what Bert did. And then he came back to Noddy's with a huge chocolate cake.
I made it specially for you, Noddy.
Especially for me.
Yeah, for helping me with my naughty tail.
Oh, thank you, Bert. Thank you very much. He was a much easier monkey to have around, with only half a tail.
It's been a lovely day, now we have to go away. But we'll see you very soon in Toy Town. We'll be back another day, come and join us so we may see you very soon again in Toy Town. It's been a lovely day, now we have to go away. But we'll see you very soon in Toy Town. We'll be back another day, come and join us so we may see you very soon